Welcome to Garden Crossings. This is Heidi. I am up at the Northern Michigan Garden today, and as you can see, it's snowing out right now. But I wanted to take just a couple minutes to show you the beauty of a garden that hasn't been trimmed back in the fall. So for those of you who watch our channel, you've seen us do many videos and hear me talk about how I always like to have our gardens cleaned up in the fall. That way they're ready to roll for the spring, which that is true for us because we don't have a lot of time this spring to be out here tending to the garden. But the particular garden I'm going to show you today, this was a spot where when we came up here in November to do the maintenance on it, there was about 12 inches of snow or so on it, so we just couldn't get into the garden to do that garden cleanup. The snow had since melted, but whenever we were up here, it was too cold and we just didn't feel like doing the cleanup. So this is going to have to happen in the spring. But this is a nice reminder for me of, sometimes it is good to let your garden stay and be natural because the beauty that it does bring here in the winter. We have probably about 8 or 10 inches of snow right now, and it's continuing to fall. It's really kind of quite pretty and quiet out here right now. But I was looking out from the top window of the house down on this garden space, and just really I realized the beauty of leaving it natural. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So for those of you who do get snow, there's just something about like the perfect snowfall. And what I mean by that is snow that like doesn't have footprints in it. And this garden space definitely is just perfect with no snow, with no footprints in it right now. So I really don't want to go in and walk and create that messy look to this garden. But one thing that really stood out for me is particularly these hydrangeas. So they're just, look at them up against the snow. They stand out so pretty. The snow really isn't collecting on them right now, but if it was a little bit wetter or heavier snow, it would be collecting on those crisp, dry flowers and creating its beauty of its own sense with the snow on it. Another thing that's really pretty and bringing out a lot of texture, I think, are the butterfly bushes. Right here in front of me is one of the Pugster butterfly bushes, and that's collecting a little bit of snow on it. But even just the form of the plant, there's still some leaves on it. You can see the old flowers kind of dangling or kind of drooping on the plant. Such a pretty look that, I don't know, there's just something about it in the snow that's creating a lot of really beauty and interest. Another plant that's really poking through are the coneflowers. And we with coneflowers, like that's something I do like to leave untrimmed because the birds get to enjoy the seeds off of the flowers of the coneflowers. And you can see here, this one in front of us, there's a lot of the seeds are missing. But too, check out that texture, especially up against the white snow. Just kind of a really beautiful whimsy look in the garden. I'd love to know your take on if you're somebody that does spring cleanup or fall cleanup and what your chosen reason is behind when you do your cleanup. Like I was saying, mine is because I just don't have time in the spring to do it. But for some of you, it might be because you do like the interest that it brings to the garden. And for others, who knows, maybe you have a totally different answer to why you do the cleanup when you do it. So I'd love to hear that in the comments below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. I always love hearing from you. And if those of you who are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll make sure to get you alerted every time we put up a new video. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.